is
Mr. Gaurav Saran, Senior Manager IT, Raw Material and Iron Making Technology Group, Tata Steel. He is going to present on digitalization in Tata Steel. Mr. Gaurav, I request you to take it forward. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Just let me know how to share my presentation.
Yes.
Right. So just let me know once. Yeah, thank you. Just let me know once the screen is visible so that I can start.
Yes.
It's
this
visible.
is all
thank
right, sir.
Yeah,
It's all
so
right.
I should
Okay,
start
sir.
as
Thank
I
you.
presume. Thank you so much. So thank you all, and thank you ARCT for giving me another round of chance to present the ongoing developments that are being in Tata Steel. So Tata Steel is a very wide organization. So most of the main themes are basically same for the entire Tata Steel, but whatever digital initiatives has been taken place in our area as specific. So my presentation will cover the overall concerns related to digital. So what are the initiatives, and then specific examples for the group in which I am working. And I'm covering the raw material iron making area of Tata Steel. So I'm a process technologist there, and our work is to do process visualization and diagnostic techniques using modeling and real-time data from the storage servers. So going ahead, just let me open my pointer. Right. So basically, as we are very much aware that the pace of the IT development is much.
नहीं एक काम इसमें वेबो कार्बोनाइज वाला कितना बता रहे हो आप कितना है उसका और मेरे को ब्रेकअप भेज सकते हो क्या एसएमएस कर सकते हो मैसेज
Hello. Sorry, there was maybe some sound. So going ahead, as we can see that the development in IT platform is basically what we thought of maybe in normal term it would have been 100 years, but it is in exponential growth, and so it's like the next 100 years will be like the next 20,000 years of progress. So it's an exponential development, and Gartner cycle helps us understand. I'm not sure whether this is covering the screen. I'm not sure. Okay, so Mr. Rajkumar, will you just let me know whether the icons are covering the screen?
We are able to see your screen, sir.
Yeah, now it is clear, right? So the Gartner cycle is basically tells us what advancements are in the pipeline, what all advancements need to be done in the next 2 years, next 2 to 5 years. So this is a very important cycle. In 2019, if you can see if you would have seen the Gartner cycle, the main theme was AI and AI, 5G, etc. But surprisingly, in 2020, due to the COVID scenario, you can see that the main thrust is on social distancing technologies, which needs to come up as a wide mark, which means it has to come up in the next less than 2 years. So a lot of thrust is on the technologies. So even the technologies are evolving and changing as per the scenarios today's world. So the basic, now we come to the challenges in Tata Steel owing to the digital disruption and the IT technologies coming up at such a rapid pace. Basically, now that we have, everyone is having a lot of backend data in place, the thrust is not on data historization, but rather on data analytics. So a lot of analytic projects are coming up using AI, ML. So a lot of things are coming, neural networks. So a lot of analytical projects coming up. And then you can see there are a lot of correlations between univariate analysis, multi-regression. So a lot of things that come up, random forest. So a lot of techniques for analytics which suits us best is what we require right now, or what we want to adapt as per the requirement of the project. Then definitely there's a requirement of digital infrastructure strengthening using the OPC connectivity from level 1 systems, etc., and then bringing it to the modeling and data analytics platform. Definitely you cannot leave behind the basic level 0 systems, which is the field. If your field data is not good, then no models will sustain on the top. So lot of smart sensor deployment. There will be a lot of collaboration with startups because one cannot do from A to Z. So a lot of startups have come up with a lot of smart sensors, etc., for building a very solid ground base on which the digital platform can be erected. And last but not the least, this from raw material process, there's the visibility is definitely lacking as on date because if they are like Tata Steel, it comprises of mines, collieries, etc. So there are lot of distant locations, remote locations. So data connectivity from that location and lot of instrumentation needs to be done from those locations as well. Not from the urban side, but maybe from such distant locations. So for carrying forward the challenges and addressing the challenges, there are a lot of enablers which can be like connectivity using sensitization definitely, and use of computational power. A lot of analytical tools etc. is available, and there are a lot of analytics and business intelligence tools also available, like digital twins. GE and many big companies have come up with digital twins, which is real-time simulation of the field models. Bentley, GE, many companies have come up, and they were showing also in the morning. So, and the last but not the least, the human-machine interfaces are very much part of the day, in which the touchscreen interface, augmented reality using smart helmets for mining purpose, etc. That is where the thrust is these days, and Tata Steel has taken a lot of steps towards that also. Next, going to how we could understand the challenges is by basically by the domain searches, the process modeling and control in fields of mathematical empirical modeling, for online immunologies, real-time file making. So a lot of work has been done by different companies like ArcelorMittal or JSW, CSIRO Lab of Australia, and some companies from US and others. So these are the basically we have adopted most of these technologies in our systems in Tata Steel. So going ahead, I will show you what has been done now in Tata Steel and where we are and what developments we have done in Tata Steel. So this basically is a real. We are working for iMonitor system. Basically, it's Tata Steel has a lot of databases, but the database for raw material iron making is basically this iMonitor system, and which we call a data warehouse because we have more than 30,000 data points as such for from these locations from different maybe 16 from 35 different plants because there are a lot of mines, there are a lot of beneficiation units, steel iron making units, blast furnaces, sinter plants. So what we have done, we have captured like 1,000, 2,000 data points from each of the plants. So thereby having more than 30,000 data points at any go. At any 5 minutes interval, we are seeing 30,000 data points varied from different plants, which can be maybe mines or beneficiation units or iron making units, sinter plants, coke plants, blast furnaces. So we are taking into account all the process variables, the analog inputs that are coming from these from level 1 systems, from the electrical DCS or the PLC, which is coming, and we are taking 5 minutes average of each of these data points for doing our analytics. So you can understand that our base is very strong. We have 30, 40,000 very fast varying parameters to do data analytics and data mining. So basically, our server takes data from level 1, as I told you. Then there is on SQL connectivity, Oracle database connectivity with different database links for like production database of Tata Steel other areas. And also with the third most deployed systems is VB interface codes with third-party historians, which are installed between level 1 systems and Oracle servers, which acts as interface where they capture data to historians. And from there to our server, which is known as the iMonitor server, it is the Oracle server. And here we have last 20 years data of 5 minutes variables of all these data points. So you can understand the huge data we have for very good data analytics. Now coming to some of the applications where we have used this particular data and arrived at some analytics or some good models. So just before that, I would like to tell you that the raw data from sources, which is like from the different PLCs, etc., is captured at a 5 minutes interval from level 1 systems. And from there, using the OPC interfaces, comes to our raw tables, which are 5 minutes data. Then because we have SQL, we have Oracle database, so we can build hourly, daily, weekly, monthly tables based on raw data. After cleaning the raw data, of course, So from hourly onwards, we put filters and clean the data. And then there are different views that can be given and different models and visualizations being given to clients who are the users, like the operation departments and our data analytics teams. So now coming to the new technologies that we have adopted in DataStage. Basically, this is just last year, because these two slides have been added to last year, and so these are very important technology advancements that we have done. It is this first time in India. Basically, we have taken help of TCS team. The TCS innovation team we have taken help of for this particular POC that we conducted in DataStage. So this was basically the problem statement here was that the coal carrying conveyor, as you can see on the left, sometimes it carries heavy boulders and iron materials or wooden particles, which when goes to the coal crushing circuit, puts a halt to the system, because there are breakdowns in the system when very fine coal, soft particle like coal needs to be crushed, and then heavy boulders or iron particles come. So they basically create a breakdown in the plant. And a loss is basically of a tune of between 20 to 30 crores in one go. It's a 2-3 day loss. So we have taken up this innovation. This needs innovation, which has been we tie up with TCS. TCS have taken this as an experiment, and they have brought in polarization camera to detect the images of the material going on the pit. So just last week, NTPC was also telling about progress in image analytics. So this is one very good example in which the image analytics takes care of RGB camera and a polarization camera. So this was the setup actually. You can see there's a camera and there's lighting, and there are particles. There are raw, there's like rubber particles or some concrete particles flowing on the belt. So the camera along with the particles, and then there's a polarization camera, which is a special camera which was brought from Europe for this trial purpose. So polarization basically helps in reflecting the light at different angles from the source. So the degree of polarization is basically because it is related to the angle of reflection from the surface. So each and every material from coal to iron to wood has a different reflective surface. And so based on the polarization, so the degree of polarization is different. And based on the polarization of different particles, we can differentiate between coal and non-coal products. Till now, we have only heard that iron particles due to magnetism nature can be taken out from non-Fe particles, non-Fe materials, but this is a breakthrough, and in which non-coal particle can be identified, and they can be alert once these foreign particles are detected. It goes to the TCS cloud pickup, and from there, the SMS is generated in real time. And we have 1 minute to stop the belt till this long belt reaches the discharging point. So this way, a lot of big breakdowns can be prevented, and this we are now in the phase of project deployment. Second technology is known technology by many people, but as I told you that from level 1 to our servers, we were using Historian servers, which was provided mostly by GE Fanuc and ABB and other parties, which were integrated part of the level 1 systems. But now we have directly from the PLC, using the cloud processing, using Airtel or other network, it has been sent to the cloud. So the cloud has, it is gone directly from the cloud, and from cloud, we are directly taking it to Oracle server. By eradicating the different collectors, historians, lot of physical connections in between, this process is very fast and it is in real time. So this is a major technology breakthrough in which maybe you can eliminate collectors, historians, or different LAN networks and multiple physical networks to bring the data from the source system to the destinations. Another very major development, very good development, is in the terms of file visibility model for DataStage. This basically was taken up by me for years, and now this has reached a point of final deployment, in which I would just let you know that this is a small file. If you can see, this file is around 200 to 300 meters long, and the height is maybe 7 to 8 to 10 meters. So everything you see here seems to be a single material sort of a thing, but it is not so. Ideally, a file should have a single material chemistry, because this is made over 4 to 5 days from different material coming from different bins, and it is being spread horizontally. over the 4-5 days period. So once 400 or 500 such, this is a twin boom stacker you can see here. So with this arm, the material is stacking in a horizontal direction, and 3-4 days of stacking means 400-500 layers of such to and fro motion of the stacker will make this 10 meters height pile, which is 15 meters wide, and having tons of 100-120 kT materials. So that is the extent of the pile, and it is 200 meters long. So physically doing everything seems to be same. The quality seems to be same, but we have taken up a model in which we have the basic inputs as these two inputs. The left side top you can see, which is a twin boom stacking rate. Stacking rate is the stacker TPH, the tons per hour at which the stacker is positioning the material. And the other one is the position from 0 to 140 or 200 meters, going forward from 0 to 140, then coming back to 0. So it's twin boom stacker moving horizontally to front and then coming back, and then again going front and back and depositing the material. So every time it goes front and back, it deposits a particular material. So we have broken this down into different days chemistries. 6 different days of pile making will give me 6 different chemistries. But the art, the art of this output is using these two basic sources of stacking rate and the position. We have come out with an output which gives you output in terms of height of the pile. So you can see that this particular case I'm referring to on the right side, the center one is an ideal, it should be all even height. But right case, you can see that the extreme towards the 200 meters position, 100 to 200 is a pile of greater height, and from maybe 0 to 100, the pile is of a lower height. And this you can see physically out here. This is the same days that we have taken the model we have created using Pythagoras theorem, using angle of repose of material and lot of other factors. We have recreated the pile in a 2D format. The right side you can see that from maybe 120 to 200 meters down the line, the pile height is more, which is actually what has come out in our model, this empirical model. And towards the start, the pile height is less. So it has come out like this. So it is basically exactly the replica of the field input. So you need not have a camera in place. You can have a simple empirical model that this pile visibility model produces, and you can have a complete pile profile with respect to the height and the different days material chemistry. So basically, initially we did for day chemistry. Now we have drilled down into every 10 meters chemistry, right from 0 to 200. Every 10 meters based on the material mix. The material mix can be a different material mix. It can be iron ore, it can be flux, it can be coke. So there can be different 20, 30, 20, 25 different type of materials. So based on the chemistry of each material and the tonnage of each material, we are estimating the pile quality at every 10 meters interval, and every 400 layers may be having a different chemistry based on the availability of material. So now we can have maybe say 10 meters if we are segregating chemistry. So we can have 20 different chemistries, which usually used to be one chemistry for the complete pile on which the people used to work. And this one chemistry pile chemistry was provided to the further down the line processes, which used to have high standard deviation because of the quality deviation within the pile, which has been brought out by this particular pile visibility model. Okay, so this is the same thing. So then we had an innovative way by using the MVC output and presenting the outputs, multiple days output of these piles in a web form, where a person, if he can pass dates from maybe 1st of July to 17th or 18th of August or till date, he can have all the pile information at one go, right? So starting from the latest at the left and going down in the right side, you can have the complete chemistry of 20-30 piles made within that period. So this is for the MIS purpose. The management, the chief wanted to see it in this form, but the downline people wanted to see it layer wise and position wise. Okay, so going ahead with I have maybe 10 minutes left, but I will just put for 2-3 more such developments that have taken place in Tata Steel. So you can see that this is basically for the blast furnace visualization. A blast furnace is a tower sort of a thing from top to bottom, in which you pour some metal on the top and it comes out from the bottom. So there are a lot of staves. These staves are basically it's a cylindrical structure sort of a thing, and the round periphery of 360 degree of a particular cylinder, you can say. So there are a lot of measurements involved at different around the periphery at every maybe 20 degree. So there can be 18 such measurements around the periphery. And so sometimes there can be 24, even 48. So out of 360 degree, every 10 degree, there can be some measurements. So each measurement is now captured and put in this web output in a very simple form, in which from top to bottom, the temperatures you can see varying based on the color. If we want to see temperatures from maybe 40 to 100 degree, the light green and the blue area show where the temperatures are at. But wherever temperatures are more than 50, 60, you can see the color changes. And in such cases, extreme cases like 80, 90, the temperature is shown in red. So this gives at a glimpse, you just open the cylinder in a 2D format, in a rectangular format, and we can understand at what position from 1 to 32 around the periphery of the surface, from 0 to 360 degree, as it is shown in the bottom, which particular location is having a higher temperature measurement, so that we can control the temperature at that particular point of the blast furnace. This basically, again, we have used Statistica output to depict the temperatures in the heart. Heart is just below the blast furnace from where the hot metal is tapped, and there can be, due to hot metal temperature, there can be many instances that there can be a hearth breakout. It's like a puncture. It's like a tub containing the hot metal, and there can be punctures from the sides due to eroding of the walls because of this high temperature material. So sometimes the wall may be less thick at some location, and some location can be more thick. So the thicker the wall is, it is good. But wherever the walls are very flimsy and maybe on the verge of breakout, we can prevent using the depiction of temperatures around the area in such a format, in such a statistical output format. Basically, this is again the layer profile of the furnace top measurement. We have decoded the different levels and different measurements along the diameter of the furnace from the top where the material is charged, and we have come out with the ore and coke layers which are normally charged in the furnace with respect to their descent rate, because basically furnace, if once a furnace starts, the material descends at a fast rate. You pour in solid material, and from the bottom the liquid material comes out. So this is the descent rate, taking into account the descent rate and the coke and ore material that is charged. We can understand the layer profile, how the material is charged inside the blast furnace, and what is the descent rate and how it is moving about in the furnace. Again, this is a simple example. I think most of the electrical or the operation teams will be able to understand. These are discharges from the different bins. So discharges from different bin can start at different points, but the final material should be a mix which should go to the furnace from the edge of the belt. So this indicates, based on the start and stop of the opening and closing of the different bins, we can put the position of each material on top of another, so that the front end of one material and the tail end of that material, whether it is in coinciding with the next bin from where the material starts discharging, or this is the last bin, so this green yellow material is on the top. So actually, ideally, it should be one over another. It should not be like this snap, because in this case, you can see that the first material has gone forward, but there is no tail present here. So it's not a good mix. A good mix will be this particular material, where all the materials are in the correct proportion and it is discharged at the furnace top. So these were a few examples that I've taken forward for Tata Steel, and basically addressing to the challenges faced in real time by the plants and operations, and based on the process knowledge, domain experts, and technical tools that we have used. Thank you so much. So I'm not sure about the question answer session, so how you can take this, but you are free to reach me. I will be sharing my email address and my phone number with the IRC team. They can get back to you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you, Gaurav. There are no questions from the audience so far, so I think if there are questions, we'll share it to you via LinkedIn or something. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
I think
sir.
we'll let you go, and then we'll have the